Hey, welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to go over the difference between for loop, while loop, and do while loop in Java. Okay, so let's get started. For loop, this is the structure. Inside the main function, uh, for loop starts with the word for and with bracket, and that's where the three statement goes. The first statement is your started value, then you put a semicolon, then end value, semicolon, then increment number. And your code goes on the curly brackets right after those brackets that you do. So your code goes here, and these are the statements. So what do I mean by that? For example, this is an example of for loop where my initial value, started value, I equal 1, and you could either initialize it here, how I did int I equal 1, or you could initialize it here int, so they would both mean the same thing. Okay, so what I want is I want a loop that on the starting value I, which starts from 1, and it goes up to I, which is the value that's starting from less than or equal to 5. That means the I, which is starting from 1 and is gonna run the loop until I is equal to 5. Okay, and this part is the increment number, which I meant right here. So increment I plus plus means I is going to increase by 1. So instead of that, you could have put 1 here, or you could put 2 here. Okay, I mean, you have to put an equal sign. So if you want to do that, that's okay. If you could do this, that's okay too. Okay, so if you want, so right now what I'm doing is I'm incrementing I with the value of 1. So I plus plus is incrementing by 1. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let me run and I'll tell you what it is. So let me quickly run this, and you can see that the loop ran how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so why did it run 5 times? Because our starting value was 1, and it was running from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times. Okay, so for example, let's say you wanna print out 3 times. So your ending value will be 3 like this. Understand? So if you run it again, you will see, as you can see, that our loop ran only 3 times. So that's how you do a for loop. This is the start value, which is 1, end value, which is 3, and increment. We're incrementing by incrementing by 1. So if you want to increment by 2, uh, and let's say we switch to 5, you will see your loop 3 times, and you might get confused. Why is that 3 times? Because we're incrementing by 2, but what you're not seeing is the I value. So for example, if you want to print out the I value here, you just add a plus, and now we could see which I value is printing it. Okay, so let's run it again, and you see that when we start the loop, it starts from I value 1 and it prints us the loop a for loop. Then it increments by 2, so the next number is 3. So it prints out I value of 3 at I am a for loop, and the next number that increments, it's by 5. Okay, and this is very important. If you see, it says I is less than or equal to 5, so the ending value is 5. So some people, what they do is they would do this. That means that it would go up to 5 and it's not equal to 6. So it's kind of the same thing. If you put 5 and equal, then mean 5 is included. Okay, anyway, so let's move to the while loop now. While loop is much easier to understand. Okay, so the structure of while loop is you start with the word while, and you have parentheses, and your expression goes there, and then you have brackets, and inside those brackets your statement goes. Okay, so if you want to quickly see the difference between for loop and while loop, let me just show it to you. Okay, So for loop structure is for you have to declare the starting value, end value, and the increment value. Okay, and your code goes there. While loop, however, okay, let me just while loop, however, has the word while and has the expression inside. Okay, and the statement goes inside. So for while loop, what does this do is, first we have to declare the x value, declare an integer, which is for my case I said x, and I initialized it so I could use it here. Okay, so then I put x is less than or equal to 10. So what this would do is this would execute the while loop until this value is up to there. Okay, so one very important part of while loop is the statement part. So if you don't increment x plus plus is less x plus plus by x plus plus, the loop is going to be an infinite loop. That means, what that means is, for example, you don't have this. So what that would do is x will forever be x equals 0. So when you start the loop, x will be 0, x is less than 10, and it will run. Then it's going to come back again, and it's going to see the value x equal to 0 again, and it's going to run again, and it's going to continuously run it. So what do I mean by that? Let me show it to you. Okay, so let me quickly save that, and you can see right here that it continuously running. Okay, so we don't want, obviously we don't want that. So to fix that, what we do is we increment by whatever value we want. So in my case, I am incrementing by 1. Again, you could write, how we were doing, plus 1, okay, or plus 2, however you want. But for this case, let's just leave it as that, and let's run that to show you that it doesn't go on and on. Okay, so as you can see, it ran 10 times. Okay, now to the next part, let's do while loop. Okay, now if you run do while, you might not, at first glance, you might not see the difference between while and do while, because it also has the word while in it, as you can see. But the difference between do while and while loop is that do while is going to run the statement once. Why is that? Because if you could see the structure of it, it says do, starts with the word do, and it has a bracket, and you could put a statement in there, and that statement will always run no matter what it is. Okay, then after that's done, it goes to the actual while loop itself. So for example, if I run this code, it says I'm a do while loop. So it ran once. And you might get confused, why did that happen? Because if you could see that x is less than 0, okay, and x value that's holding is 0 already, so 0 is not less than 0. So if you did that in while loop, it wouldn't have ran. Okay, so for example, if I come back to while loop again and I show you and I run this, look, it's not running anything, right? But if I run it in the do while loop, it runs the condition once. You get that? Okay, so if I increment by 1, okay, see, it's going to run it at least once no matter what it is. Okay, so the whole point is, the difference between while loop and do while loop is that you will get to print out a statement from beforehand. For while loop, it's going to run however time you want it, and do while is going to run it will run and output at least one time compared to do while, because I prints out the statement from beforehand. Okay, so just quickly go over once more time. For loop, we need to know the starting value, ending value, and the incrementation. Do while loop prints out at least once even if the statement is wrong, and while loop prints out however you want, but make sure for do while and while loop that you have the incrementation, or else it's going to be in a continuation loop. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Please do let me know if you have any question, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.